This video is going to show you how to change the subject of a formula. It can come up in the foundation and the higher tier paper, but there are clear differences between how hard the question would be in the higher tier compared to the foundation. So obviously if you're going to be sitting in the foundation tier, you don't need to watch the higher tier section. So to begin with, you obviously need to understand what the subject of the formula is. I'm going to show you that by solving an equation as you would in any kind of normal exam. It would say you'd have an equation that looks like this, and the exam would say either solve the equation or find the value of y. You should now all know that you use inverse operations to do that. So we take away the 6, and we take it away from both sides because it's an equation. Plus 6 and negative 6 cancel, so we're left with 2y is equal to 18. This 2y means 2 multiplied by y, so the inverse of multiplication is divide, so I divide by 2, and again always do it to the other side as well. The 2's cancel and you're left with y is equal to 18 divided by 2, which is 9. Now this y here is the subject of the formula. Whatever variable, whatever letter is here, which is next to the equal sign, subject of the formula, that's what you'd say the subject is. So when you're asked to rearrange equations and you're asked to make x, y, z, a, b, whatever letter it is, whatever variable it is, the subject of the formula, that just means the examiner wants the letter on its own on the left hand side and then with an equal sign. The right hand side doesn't need to be a number, it can be any combination of numbers or letters. So let's have a look at an example. This one says make b the subject of the formula. So this is what we're aiming for. We just want the b left on the left hand side. So the problem is that we've got this PR here. We don't know what p is, we don't know what r is. That doesn't matter because we've not been asked to solve the equation, we've just been asked to rearrange it. So I'm just going to write it out again. PR plus b is equal to c. So this PR at the moment, I want to get rid of all of this. So at the minute this is a positive value, we've got positive PR. So I'm just going to take away PR from the left hand side. I'm going to take away PR from the right hand side. These obviously cancel because they're inverse operations. We've used inverse operations to do that. So we're left with B is equal to C take away PR. And that's it, you've done it. So B is on its own on the left hand side. B is now the subject of the formula. So look at another question. This is making y the subject. So this is a little bit more tricky because y is sort of attached to x. These are being multiplied together. So just as you would with a normal equation if you're solving it, like I always say to my classes, you get rid of the bit that's floating around first. So if something's attached to the letter you want, you leave it alone and you get rid of this bit that's floating around, so the plus a. We should know that to get rid of plus a, we take away a, and I take away a from this side as well. And then when you're doing these, it's a really good habit to get into to rewrite out the equation after every single step. So these have cancelled, so I'm left with xy, and that's equal to 24 take away a. So we're getting there. Now we just need y on its own. Y is currently being multiplied by x. The opposite of multiplication is divide, so I divide by x, and I divide this side by x as well. These cancel, and so I'm left with y on the left hand side, and you can just leave this as it is. This line, you should know, fraction lines represent division, so we have 24 take away a divided by x. And again we finish. We've got y is now the subject of the formula, so that's done. And this one's already got a fraction in it. Don't let that put you off, it's exactly the same concept. So again, I'll write out the equation. So make v the subject of the formula. Right, well v is on the top of the fraction, so it's already on the left hand side, that's good. I want to get rid of this division here. So we know that the opposite of divide is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by m. I'm going to rewrite out these obviously cancel because they're opposites, and with v take away b is equal to pm. You can write p times m if you want, but with algebra we don't have to do that. The next step, changing the colour again, we want v to be the subject of the formula, so I'm going to add b to get rid of it. These cancel, and so I'm left with v as the subject of the formula, and I'm left with pm plus b on the right hand side. Again, it doesn't have to be a numerical solution because we're not solving, we're just rearranging the equation. Okay, so if you want to have a go at these 6 questions and pause the video, and then when you play it again in a couple of seconds, these solutions will come up. Okay, so the solutions are about to be shown. Here are the solutions for the first set of questions, A, B and C. And here are the solutions for the next 3 questions, D, E and F. Okay, if you're taking the foundation tier paper, you can stop this video now. If you're taking the higher tier, you need to keep watching. So, the difference with the higher tier, this is with the OCR examination, is that rather than this subject, which is the variable you're looking at, appearing once in the expression or equation, it can appear twice. As you can see, we've got a y here and a y here, so we've got two lots of y. Or whatever you want the subject to be, it can have a power. So for here we've got m squared, so you could have to find m when it's been put to the power of something. So let's have a look at how you solve these then. Well, it's exactly the same method as before. The only difference is that we need to get all of the y's together first. So we like the variables to be on the left hand side, so just let's write down here that we want the subject to be y. Okay, so I'm going to add y to the right hand side and add y to the left hand side. By doing that, these will cancel and I'll be left with 2y plus 1y, so that's 3y. Take away 3 is equal to b. Now we're just back to sort of how we had it in the beginning of the video. So now we're going to, like I said, always get rid of the floating bit first. We're going to add 3 to both sides. These will cancel. So I'm going to be left with 3y is equal to b plus 3. And now wanting y on its own, obviously this 3 and the y, they're being multiplied, so the inverse operation will be to divide. And we're obviously going to be dividing by the 3 because that's the thing that we don't want there. These will cancel. You must also remember to do it to the other side as well, I know you forgot then. So divide the right hand side by 3 as well. And then we are now left with y is equal to b plus 3 divided by 3. And again, leave it in this fractional form. Doesn't need to be solved. We're not solving an equation, we're rearranging. So finally then, the other kind of question you might get in the high tier paper would be if the subject, so we want the subject this time to be m. It might be squared. As normal, get rid of anything that's floating around first, anything that's attached, anything that's sort of right next to each other that's being multiplied or it's got a power with it. Leave that alone for the time being. Get rid of this plus 9, sorry, take away 9 to begin with. Add 9 to get rid of it for your inverse operations. These should be used to that now. These cancel. So I'm left with 4m squared is equal to b plus 9. So now we want to get rid of this 4. The 4 is currently multiplying the m squared. The reason we don't get rid of the squared first is because the squared isn't squaring the 4, it's just squaring the m. So we divide by 4, divide by 4, and then these will cancel as usual. So we have m squared is equal to b plus 9 over 4. Now the only way you can get rid of a squared, the inverse of squaring, this is why it's in the higher tier, is square rooting. That's something that you're not tested on in the foundation paper. So we just literally have to square root both sides. And although this is starting to look quite complicated on the right hand side, it's not. You can just leave it like this. You're not solving it, you're just having to write it like this. So obviously we know that the square root of something that's been squared is just itself. And then I'm just going to write this out again. Actually, I'm going to write it out over here. So m is equal to the square root of b plus 9 divided by 4. And that's the final bit you need to know.